Hi, it's Michael in the TMI lab with the Roland U20, and I have had a couple of people asking about more detail on Shim method for this particular issue. So I temporarily I went ahead and took the synth apart again, even though I was done. I undid the shims so that I could show you how to diagnose it, how to fix it. So yeah, this thing was done, and I was ready to call it good, and I got two people asking me about this, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do this. So I do this for you. Hope you appreciate it. You could subscribe. That would help probably. So here's the situation that I had before. Right now I have it in my studio monitors, and it's turned on, and I'm getting absolutely nothing on it. Oop, I got one. Just for a brief moment, and then it left. So now on this bridge here, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure, just a little bit. There we are. I'm at an awkward angle here. So you can see with a little pressure on that bridge, suddenly it starts working. Now I take the pressure off, and since it's so close, it just needs a little bit of pressure. Putting pressure on it actually bent that plastic down a little bit. So after you release the pressure, you may get a few notes still trying to sound. So this is the straw that I use for this purpose. And you can see down here I have different lengths of shims. I'm going to start with the long one here. And this shim is just long enough. And right now, okay, now it's relaxed and no keys are sounding again. So now I'm just going to place this shim under that bridge and push it in about halfway. So I've got it cut to where it's roughly the width, maybe slightly narrower would be ideal. So now that shim is halfway in there. Let's see what we got. Nothing. Nothing at all. I want to push it in just a smidge more. It sounded, it sent a note on message. So we have a couple of octaves that are working, sort of. So as you secure that and put even pressure on it, it will improve. So I'm going to push that in just a little more. I'm going to leave some of that out because I'm going to put a slightly narrower shim on top of that one. Now the reason why you want a narrower shim on top of that one is you're trying to kind of go along with the bow shape, so it's going to be more bowed in the very center, so you have a little more space. I'm going to try to line that up. You have a little more space in the very center. Alright, so I've got that centered, and it's slightly narrower than the other shim. So we've got some really flaky note-on messages being sent, and the velocity is, that signal is getting kind of mixed up because of the, you have two pads, and the difference of the time of those pads hitting determines the velocity. So if you have something that's not quite making good contact, it's going to trick it into thinking you're hitting that thing real hard, and you can get that kind of thing happen. Let's see here. So, and I haven't pushed these in all the way yet. I want to put one more shim here. Now this is one way, and really the only time you're going to use the shim is if we're talking about You just need a little pressure on there. It could be that you could put all the pressure you want and it's still not going to be good, simply because the contacts may need to be cleaned on that. In this case, just kind of bowed up a little bit. Well, there are instances where that's all eroded under there, or not in good shape. What you can do is take the center pin out. The pin, let me get here. I'll just use my probe to point it out. So this pin in the center of this, you push it from the bottom, and that center pin will pop out. And do the same thing over here, and this top plastic piece will come off. The ribbon cable will come off, probably automatically by itself. And you can clean those pads and clean the cable and put it back together and put them on there if that's something you need to do. So if it's real bad, you can do that. Another way to solve this would be to make another bridge. Instead of using this plastic one, make one maybe out of metal, but you want to make sure you insulate that just in case there's an issue, and bolt it back on instead of using these pins, and that will apply even pressure and be good too. So so really it just kind of depends. In this case, I know the contacts are pretty clean based on testing it, so I know that putting a few shims in there will take care of the issue. So I've got 3 in there now. So I'm barely pushing that, and I'm getting that loud, and now it isn't. So it's just right on the edge. Another one. So almost all the keys work, all but one. So now I'm going to push these shims in the stack a little more, and I'm going to add my last one, and that's shorter, and each of these are about 1/8 inch on each end, just graduating shortness, and you put them in the middle because that bridge is bowed. It's not equal all the way across. You're going to need more thickness in the very center. Now I'm just going to push that whole stack in there. Right there. So now it's all the way in. I've got 4 shims. They're all in 100% of the way, and it's putting downward pressure to make that connection because it's just slightly lifted up. And that's how you do the shims. Lost my video for a second. Okay, so as I was saying, that's how you do it. How you do the shim method. And it may not work in every case. I'm telling you that right up front. Normally you use about 3 shims. I think it's going to be enough. I got 4 in there. If I were to just cram those in there, it's possible that it could make the ribbon cable kind of warp somewhere along that line and introduce another issue. But it's because I've played around with this quite a bit, and that does happen. But I have 4 in there, but they're good. So, and this won't work in every case. You know that. There's other ways of doing this. Make a metal piece, strip. You could pull this out, clean the contacts, put them back together, make yourself a metal strap or something that's rigid, really rigid, and put that in there. Some people are 3D printing stuff for fixes like this, and I don't think that would hold up under the heat of the chassis. I think over time that would probably loosen up. I mean, and this could continue to stretch the strap, but you're still relying on the strap, and it's going to offer as much protection as this did when it was first made, because now it has to stretch more to repeat that same issue. So, yeah. May not be the perfect way, but this works. I've done maybe 7 of them, 8 of them, and they're still working as far as I know. I haven't heard from anybody, so. Anyway, that is the shim method. Now you know. So I hope you guys liked it. Hope this helps you. If so, like and subscribe and all that neato stuff. So that'll let me know to keep on making stuff. I've got an Akai to work on probably next, and then I have a 220 I'm going to be working on. I have probably about 8 or 9 boards in queue that I'll be doing various things on. And if I get a lot of likes on these videos and some subs, then I will record whatever I come across and keep doing this. And I hope it helps you. Keep rock alive here. Rock on.